Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including Radio Max in Takrady, Kekeli FM in Ho, and of course Jubilee FM in Keta. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, SuperSem, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, Just a Touch. And coming up, as family of missing Takrady girls prepare to undertake independent DNA tests, the security expert is cautioning against challenging authenticity of DNA test outcome.
It looks like we are missing that all-important aspect. And looking at it and saying, it's them, it's not them. Now the police has established it. So are we by daring and implying that if the police should, because remember this case is in court, so I would have to be mindful of what I'm putting out there. If the police will have to go to court with this same evidence, they will not be able to sustain it.
Also, criminologist Professor Kenneth Agyemang-Atefua joins calls by many for CID boss to resign on the matter.
Do the honorable thing of not waiting to be fired, but to tender their resignation and to apologize in grace and exit the scene so that pain is assuaged.
Also, Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition says comments by Education Minister suggesting chaos at the Black Star Square over placement challenges were orchestrated by political opponents, smack of an attempt to run away from responsibility.
I don't think all these people were party people who were basking there. It's marks of not wanting to take responsibility.
We have details as many more students throng the Solution Center at the Black Star Square in a final push to have their issues resolved. 21 civil society groups demand the full list of single source and restrictive tendering contracts as they petition Finance Ministry on the 2.7 billion Ghana cedi procurement savings made under suspended PPA boss Ejenim Boateng Ejei. We have sports.
The GFA Normalization Committee has made changes to the eligibility criteria for the President and the Executive Council. Now join me in 24 details.
And in our citizen-driven conversation, Dear Nanado, this week we focus on the stories of the unemployed graduates of the School of Hygiene who are now doing menial jobs, including selling iced water to get by.
Most of my colleagues, some of them sell bread, some push truck and other stuff. All are School of Hygiene graduates.
If I'm thinking about that, I don't really feel for. I lost my habitat.
We'll hear from the head of the local government service, Dr. Nana Ato Arthur. We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And there's been mounting pressure on the Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, Mami Tiwa Adodankwa, to resign. The hashtag Tiwa must go started trending on social media right after Madam Tiwa explained that she wanted to give the families of the 3 Takrady girls hope when she said she knew where the girls were. But criminologist Professor Kenneth Atefua has waded in this call as he's asking the CID boss to step down. We'll hear from him shortly, but first we understand one of the 4 families has accepted the outcome of the DNA results. But here's the sister of Ruth Love Kwesing, Nana Ajwa Kwesing, who says they've lost hope in the police and will only accept the outcome of the DNA results when it is redone.
How can this be? Even if you are come to tell something like this to your family, must you come around 7:30 p.m. in the night? Why do you want to kill our parents for us? We don't believe. We know our girls are alive. We don't believe it at all. We don't believe it.
But you know, DNA is supposed to be very accurate. So why don't you believe them?
Yeah, it's the same Ghana police who did the DNA test. None of the family members were present. As of now, we never set our eyes on the bones. Even though we requested for it that we want to also do our own, as at now, we don't know whether it was the hand they found or we don't know. As at now, we have never set our eyes on it. Even the clothes that they claim that they retrieved from the guys, as at now, none of the family members have seen the clothes. So BSO.
We apologize for that, but brother of Priscilla Mantibia Crunchy, Michael Crunchy, says his family does not have the means to conduct an independent DNA test. They therefore have no option but to accept what the police has told them.
Well, we are accepting it based on the psychological trauma we've gone through. In fact, we've gone through a whole lot. Today we hear this, tomorrow we hear that. We are fed up. We love our sister. We wish she would return. But looking at the turnout of issues, We are fed up.
If the other family members go ahead and conduct an independent test on these human remains, and it emerges that they are not human remains of the missing girls, what then are you going to do?
Well, we would applaud, we would have said that. Well, let me say we are in support of them going on for further tests, but we as a family have gone through a lot, as I said earlier on. So if it turns out it's not the girls, then we would know the way forward. Maybe if we are to get someone who is willing to support us to do it. So, I don't think we have the financial muscle to do it. We don't even know the cost of going for a DNA test. So if we are.
You had Michael Crunchy, his brother of Priscilla Mantebia Crunchy, speaking to joint news editor Araba Kumsin. Meanwhile, pathologist and former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Ajiman Bedu Kosa, has also challenged the authenticity of the outcome of the DNA test. He insists the outcome of the test is problematic. He spoke on PM Express on the Joint News channel.
Done under optimal conditions. Any degree of variations might create anomalous reports. It is not that anybody has any cause to disbelieve what you say, but it has become a standard operative procedure. For Takoradi missing girls, dead DNA test confirmed. So conclusive. And I said, no, a second eye is always necessary, particularly in a case of such national interest. That has not been done, or at least we've not been told that it's been done.
But security analyst Adams Bonai is cautioning against challenging the authenticity of the DNA test outcome. He also spoke on PM Express.
It looks like we are missing that all-important aspect. And looking at it and saying, it's them, it's not them. Now the police has established it. So are we by daring and implying that if the police should, because remember this case is in court, so I would have to be mindful of what I'm putting out there. If the police will have to go to court with this same evidence, they will not be able to sustain a judgment in their favor. Is that what we are saying? Because then you need whatever results the police has been able to obtain from this.
But you know that if this goes to court, the police's it's almost guaranteed that the police's results will be challenged.
If they have,
they'll probably have to. The court will have to summon an expert witness.
Exactly. And so the police,
the matter.
You usually
but that actually supports this point.
Evans, the police would not usually take these things into the public if they are not 100% sure, especially when it has to do with homicide. We have some people suspecting courts, in police custody. The police need evidence, this same evidence. They will need this same evidence to prosecute them in the law court.
Well, one of the major reactions emerging from the announcement by the police is the call for the CID boss to resign. Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Ken Atefua, is asking Mami Tiwa Adodankwa to save her integrity and step down.
Where individuals themselves know that they have gooped, that they have, by their act of omission or commission, generated a situation that is untenable, that undermines public confidence in the institutions that they lead, and that also have the potential to affect future dynamics and effectiveness of the institution, that they can do the honorable thing of not waiting to be fired, but to tender their resignation and to apologize in grace and exit the scene so that pain is assuaged, confidence is assured, and innovation is triggered. And I think this is one of those moments where people have to swallow their pride, where as much as you may think you have been misunderstood or that the circumstances have not worked to your favor or have worked against you, that you do the honorable thing, you do the noble thing of saluting the state and taking a bow and a good exit. If I had had the opportunity of speaking to the lady I call my niece, I would have advised her to please take a bow in dignity and step out.
You have the criminologist, Professor Ken Atefua. Now, still on this issue, Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma says government commiserates with the families of the girls. Addressing journalists at a news conference a while ago, he assured government will continue to provide support to them.
I think it's heartbreaking to receive this news, which is contrary to all our best hopes as a country. Obviously, it's shocking. It's a shocking moment, first for the families and to the nation at large. Government through the President has had opportunity to express condolences to the families directly, and will continue to engage and provide the families with the necessary support even at this stage. But it is a heartbreaking and a painful moment for us as a country. The police administration, if I follow their press conference well, tell us that though they regret that they didn't get enough actionable intelligence in good time to have rescued these girls, at least they have been successful in getting the persons behind this currently in the grips of the law, and will put them before the law courts for justice as much as possible to be done at this stage. And they believe, if I heard the IGP well, that in so doing they have succeeded in forestalling future attacks of this nature by this particular syndicate. So as I said, it's a very painful and sad moment for all of us as a country, but what we have to do is to support the grieving family, especially in this moment of shock. My appeal will be to you colleagues to also be part of the exercise to support the grieving families, because it will be, or it is a very difficult time, and it will be a difficult time for you. But if you're a parent or if you're somebody who has relatives, you would acknowledge how difficult a time like this will be. So I think what we all have to do is to support these families in these times of severe shock. And
Information Minister Kojo Opong Nkrumah. Now we turn our attention to education on the Midday News, because the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition has described as unfortunate comments by Education Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh about the chaos that erupted at the Black Star Square over the school placement challenges. The minister yesterday accused former President Mahama and his party of sabotaging the placement exercise. According to him, the hordes of people were massed to create the chaos, while some of the incidents of collapse were staged. He spoke on Ekusi saying on Asempa FM.
So yesterday, some of the people who are the independent squad,
on
about 50% were passed by JDM.
It's a specific allegation at somebody. In Oteki honor, you can prove it.
Honestly, Mr. So because I dream Bonnie when you Bonnie for be through Chroma, on a center, so be the problem, Omra. I did the yes, sir. You say, you see, see, Ghana for Umoko, who chim near Boom. Obviously, Poponi Nibiso say, men for just cut to test this 50 cents in Bankrofo. Mokochada Mumuni,
in general, in trashing in an fake.
Maybe a fake.
Or more collapse.
Yes, maybe a fake.
Now, those comments by the minister have drawn some condemnation, with many describing it as insensitive. National Coordinator of the National Education Campaign Coalition, Veronica Giayu, says the minister's comments smack of an attempt to run away from responsibility amidst the confusion.
How did he come by that? How did they come to that conclusion? How did they ascertain that these people were party people who were basking there? I don't think all the people who are complaining, we've seen videos being circulating on social media, parents complaining about, their frustration. So if he's using what is happening at the Independence Square, which hasn't been verified as the basis of dismissing all that is happening, then it's marks of not wanting to take responsibility and shifting the blame to your opponent, political opponent. And it's always a challenge when, politics is mixed with issues such as this, because then you do not get to the bottom of the problem to be able to address it.
Meanwhile, some parents and students are still yet to have their challenges resolved. The Ghana Education Service has assured they will be fixed by Friday. We can hear from the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chumampofo.
What happened yesterday, for instance, at the Independence Square was because school has reopened, and many of them also felt they had not been able to do the self-placements. And others, in fact, many of them also came there for a change of school, which was really impossible. But as I speak to you, the updated figures we have received from the placement center, we have 40,000 remaining. So if you take 40,000 out of the 122, it tells you that indeed right from the time we release placements or now, we've had a number of people that have gone through the self-placement.
Isn't it the same self-placement that's creating the problems?
We asked them to choose 5 schools. That's the process. So if you do not get any of the 5 chosen schools, we cannot give you a school. After the automatic placements, we also mount or host schools with vacancies online on the model. So when you go, you have to go through the list and choose the one that you want and self-place yourself. And so yesterday we had a number of them coming that way. And many of them said when they go to the internet cafe, they are not really getting any help. So today, what we have done is that we have even made the schools with vacancies available at vantage points at the Independence Square. So when you go, you even have the chance to go through the list so that when you go back to the cafe, you have that opportunity to go straight and then select.
We're being told that the problem is coming from the self-placement and that you've experienced some system hacks. What really is happening around that?
So we had a slight challenge with the self-placement model, and that's the reason why on the 12th of September, that's Thursday, I issued a press statement that all those who did self-placement between 9th and 11th were to go back to do the self-placement again. There was something wrong. And on Wednesday, we shut the system down, and then Thursday, we brought it back. And so we asked them to do it again. In fact, it was an unfortunate incident, and that's how come we also apologize sincerely to them for that. It wasn't really our fault. But for the integrity of the system,
Who hacked into the system? Do you know?
I cannot tell, honestly. For now, I'm not a tech.
You heard there Cassandra Chumampo for Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service speaking to my colleague Gifty Andor-Apia. Now, 21 civil society groups are demanding the Finance Ministry explains how 2.7 billion Ghana cedis was saved under the suspended Public Procurement Authority boss Ejenim Boateng through single source and restrictive tendering contracts. The Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, in his presentation of the 2019 mid-year budget review of the government in Parliament, said the PPA had saved the country 2.7 billion over the past 31 months. President Akufo-Addo suspended the PPA boss after an expose by Manasseh Azoria-Winnie revealed a company he partly owned was selling contracts to the highest bidder. We're joined on the line by the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Brahima, who is a member of the coalition. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Brahima. Is your demand to suggest that you are skeptical that government indeed made the 2.7 billion Ghana cedi savings?
Well, not at all. Our demand is born out of the fact that we think it is important that we run a system of a system that is transparent. And as we know, the biggest problem when it comes to corruption is in the area of public procurement. And therefore, if the government has taken steps, and as it says, prudent steps that have saved the nation, over 2 billion Ghana cedis, we would say that that is certainly something that is worthwhile. Now, this also comes at a time that we all know that there has been a recent development involving the Public Procurement Authority. And I would assume that it is still this same Public Procurement Authority that may have undertaken these prudent measures to save what the government says we have saved through procurement. And so, one is out of curiosity. Two is because we think that that is the right way to go. And three, we think it is something that would further enhance the government's own commitment to transparency and accountability when it comes to, how public resources are utilized. Plus, we think that if these documents are put out there and the measures that we're taking to save the money, to save us this amount, is made public, we could all learn from it. We could then appreciate very much whatever the government is doing in the area of public procurement.
Okay, so then it's safe to say that an official demand has been made to the Finance Ministry. What has been the response so far?
Well, the submission was just made on Monday. By our demands, we are saying that we expect to have a response within the next 14 working days or 2 weeks. The ministry has officially acknowledged receipt of the demand, and so we are looking forward to having the documents disclosed. Of course, we don't expect the ministry to drag its feet on this matter because there have been precedents where even the courts have said that, per our constitution, citizens are entitled to matters relating to public expenditure. And so I assume once this was said by the finance minister, reiterated by the president, it would be something that is readily available. And perhaps we may have the documents released even before the 2 weeks that we set as our expectation.
Okay, we're grateful for your time. You heard there Suleiman Brahima is a member of the coalition. He's also the executive director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, part of the 21 civil society groups making that demand from the finance ministry to explain how 2.7 billion Ghana cedis was saved under the suspended PPA boss Ejenim Boateng Eje. Now, government is disputing claims by the Auditor General that the finance ministry paid an amount of $1 million to Kroll Associates UK Limited for no work done. Now, according to the 2018 Auditor General's report on ministries, departments and agencies, the Ministry of Finance acquired the services of Kroll Associates in 2017 to recover assets from identified wrongdoers, investigate allegations of wrongdoing, provide evidence for assets recoveries, build capacity for the transfer of skills, amongst others. The Information Minister, Kojo Ponkroma, has been speaking about it.
Later this week, served notice to the Auditor General that it intends to challenge an audit finding to the effect that payment of some $1 million to the firm, Kroll Associates UK, was effected without evidence of work done. Now, this said finding was published in the Auditor General's report on the accounts of ministries, departments and agencies for the period ending 31st December 2018. Indeed, the report itself concedes that information on this transaction was requested from the Ministry of Finance by the auditors. The Ministry of Finance, in turn, reported that it will have to get the details from the Office of the Senior Minister, which was the appropriate office that executed this transaction. However, prior to furnishing the audit team with a response, the audit was completed, and a report has now been published to the effect that there was no evidence of work for the payment of that $1 million. The Auditor General is also reported to have further gone public in the mass media.
Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma. Now, the Asinfosu Divisional Crime Officer, DSP Daniel Date, and 4 other officers have been implicated in a corruption allegation leveled against them by a committee set up to investigate the matter. The concerned youth of Asinfosu alleged DSP Date was using his office to assist fraudsters to perpetrate crime in the municipality. Richard Kojo Nyako has been following this and joins us on the line with more. So, Richard, what are the specifics of the accusations being leveled against the Divisional Crime Officer?
Well, about a month ago, the Asinfosu Youth Association petitioned the Central Regional Police Administration over some conduct of its officers at Asinfosu Divisional Command. So the youth alleged that the crime officer and some police officers in the area extort monies from people. They also receive bribes and also generally help criminals to thrive in the municipality, and that has increased the crime wave in that place. So the Regional Police Command, upon receipt of the petition, and then the accompanying video, set up a committee headed by the regional crime officer. The committee was given 2 weeks to conduct the investigation, and then the committee has come out with 5 recommendations. 2 of them, the regional police commander says, would be dealt with internally, but 3 of them that have grievous consequences would be forwarded to the IGP.
I'm so sorry I cannot actually come up with the specific recommendations, but I must say that these 5 key recommendations will help us to be able to carry out policing very effectively and very efficiently in the division. The concerns of the association, the youth association, we believe when we carry out these recommendations will be addressed, and our personnel on the ground also should be able to do their work much more professionally. 2 of those recommendations we can handle in this region. 3 of them we are going to make recommendations to the national headquarters for necessary action to be taken.
You heard the Central Regional Police Commander, COP Paul Awini, there addressing the media. The Midday News will take a quick break. When we return, we'll get to our citizen-driven conversation, Dear Nanado. And this week, we are focusing on the stories of the unemployed graduates of the School of Hygiene, now doing menial jobs, including selling iced water to get by.
Most of my colleagues, some of them sell bread, some push truck and other stuff. All are School of Hygiene graduates.
If I'm thinking about that, I don't even feel for. I lost my appetite.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go.
Kremasa, Ghana, so we correct medicine pa. And you make us super. Me a super medicine and kasa. Because our job no and better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement at the use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Inti me crying in from because super. Because me the super cement and DVD ra.
Super cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Super Cement. Build your dream. Build.
Time now for sports. Benedict.
Now, the Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee has taken out certain aspects of the eligibility criteria for the Presidential and Executive Council. Now, in compliance with Article 30 of the new GFA Statute, Clause 3 and Clause 2 have been expunged. Now, Clause 3 for the presidential candidate talks about the person must have played an active role in association football, example as a player or an official within FIFA, CAF or GFA for 2 of the last 5 years before being proposed as a candidate, and must pass an eligibility checks to be carried out by the vetting committee. That is no more. The Clause 2 for the Executive Council talks about the person must have played an active role in association football, example as a player for or an official within FIFA, CAF or GFA for 2 of the last 5 years before being proposed as a candidate. That's also that has also been expunged. And away from that, the UEFA Champions League is on tonight with Richard Boaji-Yadom's side Red Star Belgrade away to the Allianz Arena to face Bayern Munich. Now, the Ghanaian international has been speaking ahead of the game.
One of the top clubs in the world. They show their talent each and every year. It's football and it's 11 against 11. And they have good players, they have good team. So do we. If we have been able to qualify to the Champions League, then it means we deserve to be here. So for me, I would just tell the Ghanaians to expect Richmond Boachi-Yadom, as everybody knows him to be, one of the young strikers who always want to put his name on the scoring sheet.
So the Bayern Munich Red Star Belgrade is one of many games that will be played later tonight. John Jordan Arjudinia and Gary Al Smith for live commentary. There is Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, and then Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus are at the Metropolitano in Spain to play against Thomas Partey's Atletico Madrid.
Thank you very much, Benedict. And it's time to track the manifesto promises of President Kufuor. Jojo Kobina today highlights the plight of bonded graduates of the School of Hygiene who are still at home years after finishing school.
President Mahama might not recognize the suffering of the people of Ghana and might not be hearing their cries because he has sadly insulated himself from the reality on the ground. The School of Hygiene for the past 4 years has been placed in our health system. I have met many of them and thousands more like him. Young, vibrant Ghanaians who want to work but cannot find jobs.
My name is Dr. Dobeda Salah, a past student of Whole School of Hygiene, 2017 batch.
Unemployed since 2017, it has not been easy for doctors. So after failing to get a job as an environmental health officer, she tried to be enterprising.
We've not been posted since we completed school, and this is what I found myself doing, just to fend for myself. I do laundry for people, then they pay me a little so that I can for myself. It's not easy. But not been easy.
She's still hopeful of government placement of a job as an environmental health officer.
It depends on the quantity of the things. But sometimes 10 cedis, 20 cedis, 25. Yeah. If it goes higher, that means the person wants you to clean the whole house, like scrubbing, cleaning the windows, everywhere, mopping. Then they'll give you 50 or 60.
Samson is passionate about sanitation. He has bought into the president's vision to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa.
And the full report of Dear Nanado this week will be aired later this evening on the Joy News channel. Now, an estimated 1,000 of the graduates remain unposted. We can hear from the head of local government service, Dr. Nana Ato Afa, who's been explaining measures to have them employed. We'll hear him in our subsequent bulletins. But what's trending on social media, Mapitso? What are people talking about?
All right, people are still talking about the Takrade girls. This one is from Ed Salifu, who says, I wish the families could do their own independent test to be sure of the outcome. And Adam Anu says the bones and articles gathered should be given to the families to continue with their investigation. And Baya Jeremiah says, I don't get the whole debate about the whole results presented by the police. Are we saying that the police are not independent and they will fake results to favor who? He's asking. Or we are simply saying the police did some shoddy work. Please, this is a difficult moment for all of us. Let's be cautious of the comments we are making concerning this case.
And thank you so much for your time here on the Midday News. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MFR Pau.